Good day, dear viewers. Welcome to Parliament TV. Today, 4 members of Parliament have gathered to discuss the past conference at Ada University, which was organized in partnership with Air Center. This conference was dedicated to the global challenges and global world order, and more than 80 experts from around the world, from different think tanks, have gathered at Ada University to discuss these issues. They have also traveled to Khankandi, as well as they had a chance to meet with President Ilham Aliyev and hear his views on these issues. Today, members of Parliament would like to discuss the content of this conference, the implications for foreign policy of Azerbaijan, and to understand together better how the world is shifting, how it's evolving, what can we expect from the world order in the next few years. First, I would like to ask my colleague, Mr. Gayam Mammadov, Member of Parliament, to give us his own analysis, how the conference went, what were the major foreign policy messages from the conference, and what can we expect about the regional, let's say, political developments in the next few months. So Gayam Aliyev, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Ismailzadeh. Indeed, actually, Azerbaijan's foreign policy, in fact, the foreign policy of any country is guided by head of state's vision. In that sense, the remarks by President at the ADA forum are indeed historical. I remember back during the 2020 war, President Ilham Aliyev, in one of his interviews, he predicted shifts in global order and global balance. And I was back then at the Foreign Service. Even to me, it sounded vague. Now, in the subsequent years, it was all vindicated. We came to witness of so profound changes in the international world order. And now, regarding the latest remarks by President at the ADA forum, President indeed indicated certain continuing changes in the world order, which has, of course, direct consequence for Azerbaijan's foreign and security policy. Of course, President's remarks were quite all-encompassing and relating basically all aspects of Azerbaijan's foreign policy. But I would like to mention and highlight one specific aspect, the one constant, which has been never changing, the upholding the national interests of Azerbaijan and actually upholding the core principles of international world order, which is preserving territorial integrity and sovereignty of states, not only in relation to Azerbaijan. Actually, I was pleased to see that President clearly and in a principled manner upheld this principle in relation to other countries.
Thank you, Gayam Aliyev. And now I would like to ask another member of Parliament, my colleague Sevil Mikhailova. Sevil Hanım, President also talked a lot about peace process between Armenia and Azerbaijan, about regional issues, about peace in South Caucasus and future, let's say, cooperation among 3 countries of South Caucasus. What can you tell us about your understanding of the discussions in the conference, and what are the prospects for the peace process, peace plan in the South Caucasus?
First of all, I want to say that there was a number of questions to Mr. President, and the bulk of them concerned the region, South Caucasus, and overall global security. I want to say that the President was very clear in his visions towards how to establish and how to maintain the international security, and he well put the regional security as part of the global security. So if we reach the regional security in South Caucasus, then we will be able to make it part of the global security. As to our region, I want to say that yes, we have achieved economic growth, which is quite significant, but there is some issues which are waiting for their resolution on the ground. And this is, of course, the normalization process between Azerbaijan and Armenia. What are the bulk and essential obstacles between the 2 countries to achieve the long-awaited peace agreement? The President was clear. We have already agreed the draft document. It is on the table, and now up to Armenia to finalize the process. And how to finalize? Armenia still keeps the territorial claims towards Azerbaijan in its constitution. And what we want and what we demand from Armenia, they need to announce referendum, they need to change their constitution, they need to delete the territorial claims towards Azerbaijan and Turkey, and that will be a fundamental breakthrough in the process. And afterwards, we will be able to go forward, and we can sign this agreement. We can achieve the long-awaited sustainable peace in the region. But what we see on the other side in Armenia, so of course we are very sad to say that the revenge forces in Armenia, they are growing. They still want to put obstacle hindrances on the way of signing this agreement, and they do not want to see peace in the region. And why? Because the forces which are not even within Armenia, but beyond Armenia, they want the great Armenia idea not to die, to be alive for centuries, and anti-Turk sentiments to grow and not to die. This is the major, of course, hindrance. And I think what the president clearly sent the message to Armenia and to all those who are on the side of this process, and unfortunately this bad process, I think that reached their addresses and they took their notes.
Thank you, Sevil Hanım. You're absolutely right. In fact, President even divided Armenians into two categories, sort of passive revanchists and active revanchists. Active ones are the ones who are actually demonstrating in the streets and advocating for revanchism, and passive ones who are quiet but still dream about greater Armenian in their hearts. Absolutely right point you made. Next with us also is Member of Parliament Tural Gencealiyev. Tural Ma'am, I had an impression from President's speech and general discussions in the conference that Azerbaijan really sees itself not only as a regional power, regional player, but also global player. In fact, Azerbaijan has actively worked with non-aligned movement members. During COP process, we worked with many countries such as island states and small developing countries. Azerbaijan, in the words of President, assisted more than 80 countries during pandemic. And today, actually, we are building bridges with African countries and Asian countries. What do you think about the shifting role of Azerbaijan in global politics, becoming from a small South Caucasus country into a global player and global actor?
Yes, very good question. I think that while we reflect upon the profound insights shared by the President of Azerbaijan, one thing is clear for all of us. Azerbaijan has become a key player, very active, playing active role, not only in the formation of the regional politics, but also Azerbaijan and its leader is actively contributing and shaping the global agenda. And the speech of President delivered by the ADA University provides us with not only the national roadmap, but also with the broader vision for the development of our future, of our country, the regional prospect, and also how Azerbaijan sees itself and positions itself in the global politics. I think that after the war ended between Armenia and Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan has become a very important player in terms of positioning itself as a middle power. So in spite of the size of the country and the demographics, Azerbaijan has become stronger enough in order to pressure and in order to actively engage in the global politics, be it global hard military political issues, be it economic issues, and also now our country and our leader is shaping the regional, not only regional, global projects that are passing through Azerbaijan. For example, the so-called corridor, middle corridor coming from China, going through Azerbaijan to Europe, and also north-south corridor. So I think that Azerbaijan's role as a shifting towards a more engaging more with global politics will be strengthened ahead of us. And I think that Azerbaijan and its leaders indeed very important game changer in world politics. That's why, for example, Azerbaijan now is shifting even its traditional energy policy towards investing in alternative renewable energies resources, wind power, solar power, hydrogen technologies. So we are leading and showing the world that we can do it. Transforming ourselves from being a traditional energy security exporting and producing power into the country providing, for example, the European Union with green energy. So having said that, I think that Azerbaijan's its role in economic policy, energy security policy will be strengthened even more in coming years. Having said that, Azerbaijan is keeping and building up its relations not only with the regional countries. Azerbaijan has very good relations with the European Union. 10 countries of the EU member countries have strategic partnership relations with Azerbaijan. Now we are building very good relations with China. Azerbaijan is playing a very important role in the bigger Eurasian region. I remember the saying of the very important political scientist Mackinder from the beginning of the 20th century, who commands the Eastern Europe, the country, the power commands the heartland. Who commands heartland commands the whole Eurasia. I think that in our times, Azerbaijan and its leader is commanding heartland of the Eurasian, broader Eurasian region, which is very important. That's why Azerbaijan also has become a leader of the Organization of Turkic States, and our country is also playing active role in building up the identity and the policy of Turkic nations. So it's very important to analyze and to see how these directions overlap and also develop.
Thank you, Tural Muallim. You have described this issue in very big detail. And one element we need to add here is the terminology of Global South. Azerbaijan is now actively building relationship with Global South and shaping the agenda of Global South, as was shown during COP Summit and also during COVID pandemic.